What does Spirit want you to manifest? Welcome back to Tarot and Beyond. Today's reading was inspired by a subscriber, and their idea for the reading was, what would Spirit want you to manifest if we could ask them? What would they want you to wish for, or what would they want you to focus on? So that's what we're going to look at today. We have 3 groups to choose from, or 3 piles separated like this. And we have group 1 represented by the dragon charm. Okay, so that's group number 1. We have group number 2 represented by the Eye of Horus. That's group number 2. And then group number 3 is the turtle. All right, so use the timestamps linked in the description box or the chapter notes below to jump ahead to your chosen reading or readings. If you feel called to more than one, take the messages from within the readings that feel like they are for you and leave the rest. We'll see you in your readings. All right, hi group number 1. Welcome to your reading. You guys chose the dragon charm and this particular pile. So we're going to find out what Spirit wants you to be manifesting or focusing on. So let's take a look at your cards and get some information. I think we're going to start with tarot today and then we'll go into the oracle. Yeah, let's do it that way. Beautiful. You guys have the Ace of Cups starting out the reading. We have the Wheel of Fortune. Okay. The Two of Wands as well. And the Ace of Swords. All right. Sometimes I like to jump into the cards and start reading right away. Sometimes I pick stuff up even just from the initial charm, but for whatever reason for you group 1, I feel like I want to keep going and just kind of get the cards on the table and get a little bit of a lay of the land, and then we'll jump into the meaning. Oh, look at that. You've got the turtle, slowness, and protection. Okay, right as I said that, like, okay, let me just get all the cards on the table and then we'll jump into it. But I'm already seeing something here because the protection energy from turtle really, really feels similar to the protection energy that I feel from the dragon. Dragons are very protective. They guard the treasure. So there's something here about protection and collection, because the Ace of Swords in this particular deck, which is one of the decks created by Jalissa. I absolutely love it. This is the Undersea Tarot by Jalissa, and she's over there at Jalissa's Messages. But the Ace of Swords in this particular deck is Ariel's collection. So it feels like there's something that Spirit is wanting you to collect and to protect. Let's get more information though. Tree, stability, and growth. Okay, now where should I go here? Yeah, let's go this way. Obstacles and challenges. This is the 5 of Pentacles. All right. We have stay optimistic about your love life. I included these love cards, but this is going to not necessarily be about love, although we'll see how the energies kind of unfold. But it says positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. Okay. Release your ex. The time has come to clear your energy. We also have the 5th house. Okay, let me see if I can clear enough room for all of these cards on the table. We also have Gemini. Okay. And we also have Charoite. Okay. Let me just reposition the cards because you guys know I'm anal about that. All right. So group number 1, I mean, yeah, it feels very much like there's something that you are collecting and you might be in 2 minds about it, and Spirit really wants you to kind of focus on what you really value. It's like what are you obsessed with kind of energy? Like what can you not live without? I feel like Spirit really wants you to focus on your passions and letting go of anything that feels like it blocks your way from really expanding on what it is that you're passionate about. That's what I'm really feeling here. It's letting go of anything that is obstructing you, letting go of anything that is distracting you, letting go of anything that is really not allowing you to access or to follow and pursue what you absolutely love and cannot live without. This is where Spirit wants you to go, because this is going to allow you to access more of your spirit. If you get distracted from your passion, if you start going off and focusing on other things, or getting distracted with things from the past that did not serve you, or feeling as though you can't get to the next stage, or you don't have what it takes to get what you need or what you want, Spirit wants you to know that it's really about you believing in yourself. That's what I'm seeing. It's what do you believe in? What is believed about? That's what's really standing. What is believed about? And then you also have this optimistic card. So what do you believe in? And what do you need to release? Things from your energy field, maybe drama or distrust, feeling like you can't make it to the other side of this gap, feeling like your way is blocked. What do you need to do to get over the hump, to get through the slump, to renew your passion in what you were originally focusing on? How can you get very, very clear in your mindset? And how can that help to support stability and growth in what it is that you are so enthralled by that, like I said, you can't live without it? The 5th house is your passion. Passion, romance, art, hobbies, things that bring you joy. This is what Spirit wants you to focus on manifesting. The 2 of Wands is a little bit of indecision, deciding what you want to do and what you want to invest your time and energy into. But the Ace of Swords is extremely focused. And the Ace of Cups, 2 aces, talking about following your passion and being very clear about it. Cutting out anything that prevents you from moving forward in the direction that is going to light up your soul. That is the ultimate protection, and that's the quickest way forward. That is the fastest way to success, but it is a slow type of growth, even though it's fast in the sense that if you are focused and you're going in that direction, it will grow exponentially over time. But it's not fast in the sense that it happens overnight. It's the type of growth that, in context of the gravity or the granditude, or that's not even a word, is it? the scope of what you're creating. In the context of that, this can happen very quickly, but it's not something that will happen overnight. They really want me to emphasize that. Why? Because this is a vast wealth of knowledge. This is a vast wealth of skill. This is a vast wealth of creative talent, or whatever this happens to be. And that's not something that you can develop overnight. It is something that you do consistently. It is something that requires a lot of time and energy and passion to continue you driving forward in that direction. So the more you can tap into that creative power of what you love and take some risks, some, calculated risks in that direction, not completely throwing caution to the wind, but allowing yourself to pursue what brings you joy and what lights you up. That is what Spirit wants you to manifest. They want you to manifest a life that you love. That's really what I'm getting from your reading, group number 1, very clearly. They want you to manifest a life that you love, that you can feel excited about waking up in the morning because you get up and do something you enjoy. So what is that? What do you enjoy? And what has been stopping you from doing that? What has been distracting you? Is it something outside of you? Is it that you don't have time? Is it that you don't have focus? Is it that you have other pressing matters that are distracting you? Is it because your energy is cluttered? Is it because your home is cluttered? Is it because you don't have the resources? Or is it because you're afraid of what might happen if you really stuck to it and you saw it through and you continued? What would happen? What would be the outcome? These are questions we don't really have the answer to, but sometimes asking the right question can get you to the right answer. And in this case, the outcome is stable growth. We don't know what kind of tree that's going to be or what kind of fruit it's going to bear, but we know that if we put energy into it, it's going to grow something. And that something is worth the slow growth. It's worth the effort. It's worth the time. It's worth the focus. It's worth getting rid of the distractions and the clutter and the lack of belief or the self-sabotage. It's worth putting in the time, the energy, and the effort. And it's worth protecting once you've built something. And Spirit is going to help you protect that. Once you've grown whatever this is to its full capacity, it's going to sustain itself. And you're going to continue growing. It's like you're planting this tree, you're nurturing, you're helping it, you're keeping it upright, you're pruning it. And then it's going to bear fruit, and those seeds are going to create more trees, and then you've got a forest. It's self-sustaining, and exponentially it grows from there. Spirit is going to help you protect that. Spirit is going to help give you the direction and prompts that will lead you in the right direction of where your passion and your joy are trying to guide you. Spirit gives you all these synchronicities. They're showing me that in this reading. They give you the intuitive nudges. They give you the ideas. They drop them into your mind and you think they're your own, but they're not. They've put them there for you because they know that this is in alignment with you. And it's actually what you want deep down, but you've repressed it. Spirit gives you the feeling of wanting to do it, the impulse. That's from Spirit. It's coming from deep within you, but you and Spirit, you're the same thing. Spirit's providing the opportunities for you. They want to see you move in this direction. They want you to believe in yourself. They want you to believe that you can do this. And they show you where the pitfalls lie, or at least they're trying to. They're offering these things up to you. Whether you see them, well, that's on you. That's up to you. And the more you can slow down and watch for these signs and interpret them correctly, the easier this is going to be. But the more that you succumb to the self-sabotage, the more that you succumb to the confusion or the self-doubt or the distractions or the dysregulated emotions and drama, the harder it's going to be to feel accurately what's going on here and to pursue these passions. Okay, now they're giving me the go-ahead on reading Charoite, so I actually have to go get the book because I didn't take it out, so one sec. All right, so Charoite, wound healing. Charoite provides deep physical and emotional healing, transmuting negative energy, and it converts disease to wellness. With its assistance, you can recognize that your greatest trauma is also your most profound gift. Accept it with grace. Charoite re-energizes, heals, and integrates dualities, healing past life dis-ease carried into the present life. I'll hold it up so if you guys want to pause and take a look at the rest of what Charoite can provide, go ahead and do that. But I'm seeing here a message of healing and breakthroughs. Charoite is here to help you to have this breakthrough. It's here to help you to clear out your energy. There's something here that does need to be cleared. We take, the whole X thing off the table. Maybe it is an X, but I'm really looking at it here as clearing your energy. It's very much time to clear your energy because anything that is in your field or in your mind or in your life that is creating this distraction is cluttering up your energy, and it is reducing your capacity to pursue this passion and to create more joy and to overcome these obstacles and to do it in a methodical way that allows you to really see progress, believe in yourself, and trust the timing of this. And timing is a big factor here, group number 1. That's what Spirit really wants to say. Timing is a factor in this, and it cannot be rushed. There are things that you need to do along the way. There are certain levels, there are certain skill sets, there are certain emotional development things and emotional healing. There are certain things that must be addressed at each phase or stage of this journey. And you can't skip steps here, especially if you want to be successful in this. And from what I'm seeing, it feels like this is something that if you were to pursue it, it would be able to create a very abundant life for you. It's like a treasure chest that's hidden deep in the depths. They're showing me the 2 treasure chests here. You know, these might even be two separate things or 2 separate passions or hobbies, since we have the 2 of Wands, which is kind of about decision between which path to take and which passion should you pursue. Since you have these 2 chests here, kind of confirms that to me. So I think that even if the path does diverge, there's going to be opportunity to really find value either way, and eventually these 2 paths can kind of converge back together again. That's what I'm seeing. It's almost like they're 2 sides of the same coin, and even though they seem like they're split in different directions, once you get to this certain level of development, you can actually merge those back together in a harmonious way, maybe that you didn't expect that you could. So what they want you to do right now is to be a little bit more methodical about how you're going about this, and to take your time and not rush yourself or the process, because the more that you try to push this, the more resistance you're creating. And the more that you're challenging your capacity for optimism and self-belief. So the quickest way is not always the best way. In this case, the slowest way is actually the best way, because you will do it right. It's like if you try to do this overnight, you won't have the skills and the personal development needed to sustain it, and so it can easily be taken away from you. It's like you might rise to, let's say for example, you rise to fame overnight, but you haven't dealt with your traumas, you haven't cleared out your mind, you haven't developed the skills to sustain that, and then the self-sabotage comes in and something happens and you don't let yourself continue. Something breaks you down and then you lose that. So just as quickly as it came, it goes. But that's not what Spirit wants you to have here. Spirit wants you to manifest long-term sustainable solutions, is what they just said. Solutions, long-term sustainable solutions to your problems. And if your problem is that you don't feel enough joy or a spark or zest for life, they want you to focus on developing a solution for that, which is following your joy, following your passion. What does it feel like? What lights you up? Get curious, pursue that, be consistent with it. If your problem is that you don't have enough money, or that you feel like every time you try to make progress, you hit these roadblocks, Spirit wants you to adapt and understand that this is all part of the journey. And all of these little obstacles are there to teach you how to find solutions. This is part of the learning curve to sustainable success. And this might feel like a risk for you. I'm getting that from, the dice in this card right in the middle there of the 5th house and the Wheel of Fortune. It's kind of like, it feels a bit like a gamble. And maybe it is. Maybe it is. But Spirit wants you to know that you can bet on yourself and win every time if you follow through, if you refuse to give up, if you have faith in yourself and you truly believe and you do the due diligence that is required along the way. Because the universe wants to offer you things. The universe wants to cater to you, but it cannot do that if you don't let it. If you don't believe that you're worthy, or you don't stick to things and be consistent, or if you get distracted, the universe can't bring these things to you. Yeah, I do want to turn this over because there's different things on either side. Resulting from the fluctuations of, the fluctuations of the mind, the fluctuations of the passions. You might find that, you start one thing and then You do it for a while and you're super passionate about it, and then you kind of just get bored with it. You get distracted and you start doing something else. Spirit really, really wants you to focus and fight that urge. Fight that urge to become distracted and to do something else. Now, that doesn't apply to everything or everyone. Sometimes we can go down these alternating, meandering paths and we can really acquire a lot of beneficial skills that will help the overall kind of trajectory that we're going. But in this case, the reason why they're saying that removing distractions from your life and honing discipline through consistency is important is because whatever this is, this passion, it's more than just a hobby. It is a calling. How do you tell the difference between a passion and a hobby? Or how do you tell the difference between a calling and a hobby? That's what Spirit wants me to ask, and also to receive the answer, the information to explain to you guys, because I also want to know. And while we're in this channeling state, let's go ahead and find these answers. Let's get these solutions to these problems on the table here. It feels like the difference between a hobby and a calling is what it can do for you and what it can do for other people. A hobby is great because it does do a lot for you, and maybe it does a little bit for other people, but it doesn't necessarily have that je ne sais quoi that keeps your focus and attention long term. It's fun, but it's not necessarily connected with a deeper integrated why. And by why, I mean a sense of purpose. Hobbies can become callings if they have those qualities of passion. So it does good for the self. It evokes joy within the self. It sparks growth within the self. It benefits others in some way, maybe through entertainment, bringing them joy, teaching them something, helping them build, providing for a need, whatever it is, and it feels purposeful. That is what denotes a calling. Really, it's purpose, and purpose is self-created. We are meaning creators. That is what humans do. We create meaning out of everything. And the funny thing about the universe is that nothing actually has any meaning. And it's kind of nihilistic for me to say that, but it's true. Nothing actually has any inherent meaning in and of itself other than the meaning that we give it. And we are really good at giving things meaning, whether it's up or down, right or left, black or white, good or bad. We give all of these these judgments to things so that we can understand our reality. But sometimes that's counterproductive, because by labeling something, we are taking away the capacity for it to be something more. And also, on the other hand, it can be a good thing, because by labeling something, we're giving it meaning. And when something has meaning, we can understand it. So, two things can be true at once, and two opposing truths can be equal and both valid. That's something Spirit has taught me and continues to reaffirm in my life. So what I see here for you, group number 1, is that Spirit wants you to create meaning in your life. And it doesn't really matter what that is. It's going to matter to you, but it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things to anyone else. If it has meaning and purpose for you, and it brings joy to you, and even better, if it creates positive outcome for others too, that is how you know that this is something that you need to focus on and manifest. And the way to do that is to remove those distractions. To heal anything that has been keeping you stuck, releasing anything from your energy that's even remotely self-sabotaging or pessimistic or nihilistic in the negative sense. Like, life has no meaning, so why even try? No, life has no meaning, so give it meaning. That's what you're here for. You got to roll that dice. You got to spin that wheel. You've got to try, because you will never know if you don't try. And more than just trying, you've also got to do. As Yoda said so famously, there is no try, only do. So you might as well do it, because at the very least, it's going to make you happy. You're going to like doing it. It's something you enjoy. So why not do it? And if you can be consistent with it, and you can remove those distractions and you can stay focused, you will see long-term sustainable growth. And that is going to bring treasure to you that is worth protecting. And it is protected by spirit, by you, by the universe, probably by other things as well. Other people will stand and protect that too. Something that's valuable, people will see that and they will stand to protect it too. So Spirit wants you to focus on your creations. They want you to have fun. They want you to take a calculated risk. They want you to stay focused. They want you to remove all distractions and negative influences. And they want you to stick with it. Okay? That is what Spirit wants you to manifest. Work on this hobby, whatever it is. Build it up. Acquire more skills, more depth of knowledge in this field, whatever it happens to be. Go slow, take your time, build it up, become an expert. Find the solutions to the problems along the way, but just keep going. That's what they want. Just keep going. Don't give up, okay? So that is what I see for you, group number 1. I hope that this reading helped in some way. I hope that it gave you a little bit of hope, direction, a sense of purpose, meaning, some clarity. If it did, let me know in the comments below. And what is this passion that you have? Let's talk about it. Let's discuss. Because this is my passion. I know what Spirit's talking about for me. It's this. It's literally this. So, what's yours? All right, guys, thank you so much for being here on the channel and supporting my work. I am so deeply grateful and so appreciative of you. If you guys are looking to go deeper here on the channel and you want to support my work, I do have memberships available. They give you access to the weekly pick-a-card readings, monthly guidance, and fun bonus content. So if you guys are interested, hit the join button below. And if you're looking for a more in-depth, one-on-one personal reading, I can support you through the services that can be found on my website, which is linked in the description box below. It's tarotandbeyond.com. All right, guys, thank you again. I love you, and we'll see you in the next reading. Bye. All right. Hi, group number 2. Welcome to your reading. Let's find out what Spirit wants you to be manifesting, what you should be focusing on. You guys have the Eye of Horus as your charm. Right away, I feel that Spirit wants you to bring awareness to something. They want you focusing and looking deeper below the surface. They want you to observe. That's the big message I'm getting right away before we even get into the cards. They want you to observe something so that you can understand it. And the deeper you look, the more introspective you are, the more observant you become, the clearer that this is going to get, and the more information that you'll have to be able to take action. And they did just give me the word subtlety. So there's something that lies in the subtle realms that they want you to focus on. This is very psychic information that they're talking about here. So let's find out some more information on what this is. We're going to start with the tarot, then we're going to go into the oracle cards. Queen of Cups, yeah, that's the psychic realm right there. Queen of Cups is the feminine essence of emotion. She's fantastic at diving deep into the subconscious realm, into the emotional depths, and feeling what's there. I keep seeing ones in your reading. I saw 1-1 when I started, and I saw 1-1-1 just there as well. That could be me because I'm seeing a lot of ones lately, but if that's relevant for you or that resonates, that could be something as well. Ones are about activation, new ideas, new ways of thinking, new intentions that you're setting, things that you're manifesting. So I mean, it does fit with the reading today. It makes sense, right? And let's see, you also have the 8 of Swords. Okay, this is probably why they want you to look a little deeper, because there's something that you are experiencing mentally, emotionally, subconsciously that might feel like it is preventing you from moving forward. It is restricting you in some way, but it's an illusion. That's what they're saying. It's an illusion. And they want you to focus on this so that you can break free. strength. They want you to find and cultivate the inner strength through the understanding that you are in control of this situation. And sometimes surrender is a form of control as well. It feels like making friends with the shadow, making friends with the subtle parts of yourself. Yeah. The Chariot. Wow, this is so cool. I feel like this is going to be big. This is going to be big, whatever this is. It is you taking control. It's you taking control through understanding what's going on within you. Why are you responding this way? Why are your emotions reacting this way? Why are you feeling this? Why are you thinking this? It's like you going deep into yourself and introspecting in this way and getting this psychic information that gives you the tools you need to be able to grab the reins and say, yeah, I can drive this chariot. Even if it's a little bumpy, Eric's like, whoa. But she's having a good time. So take the reins of your life. Take the reins of your mind. And it's going to be through some kind of psychic work. So they want you to focus on your psychic abilities. News and messages, birds, yes. They have information that they want to bring you through the psychic realm. There's information lying in the depths of your soul that you have not accessed yet. That's what they just said. And it is important information. They want you to have it, but you need to learn to hone the mind in such a way that you can introspect to this level of depth to receive these messages. It's partially the mind and it's partially emotions. It's a little bit of both. So I think finding a balance between those is what's really going to strengthen your capacity to access the subtle realms. They're showing me the shark here. Make friends with the shark. The shark is your sensitivity and raw power is what they just said. Okay, it's the raw power of sensitivity. Sharks, they feel everything that goes on in the water through their skin, through electrical signals. We are actually the very same. Humans, we do the same thing. And when we heighten those senses enough, we become psychic because we're really just heightening the 5 senses that we already have to a very high degree so that we can sense into those subtle vibrations. That's what psychics do. That's what empaths do to varying degrees and to varying levels of success. But ultimately, it's the same thing. So they want you to become more sensitive, but not necessarily in a way that is dysregulated or going overboard. It's sensitive in a balanced, healthy way that frees you. Oh, literally just said the word balanced, and here we have Justice documents the scales of balance. They want you to do this in a balanced way so that you're not going overboard, pun unintended, even though, we're looking at she's on a ship here. You're not going overboard and creating more harm than good. You have to be careful when you're doing psychic work like this and you're diving deep into the unconscious. You have to have an anchor point. You have to have a sense of self that's very stable. Your identity needs to be adaptable, not too rigid, but also grounded enough that you don't lose yourself in the depths of the sea within the mind. So that's why balance is so important here. But if you can master this, which is what they're saying that you should be focused on manifesting, is increasing your psychic abilities, this is going to help you to receive messages from the divine. Messages specifically from your intuition, because these 2 little birds remind me of the reading I did a while back, which was entitled Your Intuition Knows. And it was like the little birds, and it was like choosing between the different birds instead of cards. So they want you to find a sense of internal stability so that you can access these deeper parts of the mind and not feel constricted by them, because that's kind of unconsciously what's happening here is these different parts of the mind that you haven't explored yet are creating unconscious restrictions within. Okay, we have 8 of Wands here with accelerated motion. So things what I just heard in my head is the line from Aladdin when Jafar goes, things are unraveling fast now, or things are unraveling quick now, something like that. And he's using his magic to unravel the magic carpet. So it's like if you dive into these depths, things will unravel quickly, but that can also be a good thing, because then you have the raw elements to be able to create something else, especially if what you're unraveling is the binds that have chained you up or tied you up or kept you bound in this way. But you don't want to unravel things that you need to function, right? That's why this takes such delicacy and balance. Look at that. Wow. Free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life. Eight of Wands is talking about freeing yourself. The Chariot is taking control. This is, wow. Yeah, I mean, come on. You can't make this shit up. This is crazy. So group 2, you guys you're meant to free yourself from these mental constrictions that maybe you have awareness of, maybe you don't. If you don't have awareness of them, the first place to start is looking at your behaviors, looking at patterns. Pattern recognition is your friend when you are learning to work your psychic abilities. Pattern recognition is everything, because spirit and the subconscious mind speak the same language, which is symbol and emotion. So you want to get really well versed in patterns, imagery, symbolism, and feeling. That is how you master the subtle realms. Okay, and we have give your relationship a chance, work on your partnership. Now, I put these cards in here because Spirit prompted me to, but we're not using them in a love context. We're looking at them in terms of manifestation and the spiritual work that you're being called to do. So here I see working on your partnership is actually working on your partnership with yourself. It's finding a way to harmonize the relationship between the conscious version of you and the unconscious version of you, the tip of the iceberg and what's below the surface. And as you work to improve that relationship, you inevitably free yourself, because you are becoming more consciously aware and therefore more in control. We can't change anything unless we have awareness of it. That is one thing that I have learned working with clients, working with myself, trying to overcome karmic patterns, learning self-development, spiritual growth, all of it. We have to have awareness. It is the absolute first step. And sometimes we gain awareness and then we don't go further than that. So it's awareness first and foremost. Yes, that is the huge tipping point. But you have to continue from there. The next step is understanding. What did that awareness teach you? What did you understand through that awareness you gained? The next step is empathy. If you can understand something, you can have compassion for that part of you. And with that compassion as a tool in your arsenal, you can start to make changes. Because if you have empathy for yourself, if you have compassion through the understanding you've gained through awareness, then you can start to repair. You can start to remove what needs to be removed. You can start to change what needs to be changed. You can start to redirect what needs to be redirected. But again, we can't do any of that until we have awareness. 10th house, responsibility, success, become a person of power and status, your destiny, where you're going, and your career. 10th house, yeah. So this is part of your destiny. It may be part of your career. Maybe you're called into a line of work that is very emotional, highly sensitive, maybe psychic, spiritual, requires great strength and internal fortitude. Try to get these cards so that they fit. We have Saturn. You know, Saturn and the 10th house go very well together because they're both about responsibility and power and control, the Chariot, control, and success. Saturn helps us to mature so that we can actually acquire and achieve success, but it's through hard work, discipline, and focus. It's not through, shirking responsibility and letting things kind of fly by the wayside. Saturn is a bit of a taskmaster. The maturity that it brings, it also cautions you. It imposes limits. It's about being realistic and being concerned with things that you should be concerned with. And being patient, because Saturn is the time lord, and it does require you to do things in the right way and in the right time, not to get ahead of yourself. So you don't want to rush psychic development. That's the one thing I've also learned, because there's a good chance that if you don't do it in a balanced way, you can enter into psychosis. You can lose your sense of self. You can warp or distort the ego, which is ultimately counterproductive. So to free yourself, you got to do it in the right way. It's like, what they just showed me in my mind was, it's like trying to cut yourself free from the binds that have roped you up. If you try to do it in a rush, you're going to cut yourself and you'll slit your wrist, and then you bleed out. And it's like that really didn't free you at all, did it? No. So you want to do it very slowly and carefully, slowly sawing away in a methodical way, so that you break the binds without hurting yourself. And we have rhodochrosite. Okay. Yeah, so group number 2. Spirit wants you to focus on manifesting your spiritual development, your psychic awareness, your self-understanding, and personal empowerment through that inner strength. That getting to know yourself better at these deeper, more subtle levels are ultimately going to give you access to, because it is going to speed things up. We see that here with the Chariot and accelerated motion. This is fast moving energy, but it's interesting that we have the 10th house and Saturn, which is slow. So it's like it's speed up to slow down kind of energy, or slow down to speed up, I should say. It is a balance between these two things. I think the more that you try to speed up, the more that you need to slow down. And the more that you're slowing down, the faster you're going to go. So if you're trying to rush spiritual development or psychic awareness, don't. I'm just going to be real blunt with you. Don't. For your own safety, for the safety of others, for the safety of your psyche and your soul, just don't do that. Don't rush it. Don't go to a course that's going to promise that you're going to awaken your psychic abilities in 10 days. That is unrealistic and unhelpful and, quite frankly, damaging. Don't do that. This shit takes years. So be patient with yourself, because there's layers and layers and layers and layers and layers to this shit. And you need to know what to do at each layer. And if you skip a layer, you drown in the next one. So don't do that either. This is developing strength. You can't expect to go to the gym for one day and then be all pumped up and lean. That's not how this works. You can't go to the gym for the first time with your noodly arms and try to lift 500 pounds. You're going to break yourself. It's not going to do anything for you. It's not going to make you stronger. It's going to make you weaker. So you've got to do this methodically, slowly, consistently. Similar messages that we were getting in group 1. If you came from that pile, this is extra confirmation for you. But yeah, you got to do it the right way. You can't skip steps. You can't skip ahead. You can't bypass these things. And there's a lot of people out here in the spiritual community that promote and make a lot of money on bypassing spiritually. And it pisses me off, because they're not in their integrity when they're trying to get people to buy these things that ultimately are going to hurt them in the long run. It's not doing it the right way. But they're trying to be gimmicky, or they're trying to promise these fast results, and that's not what spirituality is about. It's a way of life. It is a discipline. It is a practice. It is a lifelong experiment. It is not for the faint of heart, and it is not for the impatient. Can you tell I'm passionate about this? Yeah. I tell you, if I ever offer a course of spiritual development, it's going to be like really intense, really long, and very in-depth, which is probably why it won't come out for a couple of years. But I don't want to limit myself. But yeah, let's look at your card. Let's look at rhodochrosite 45. Oh, one more. The Heart Reviver. Rhodochrosite teaches the heart to assimilate painful feelings without shutting down, dissolving denial, and identifying ongoing detrimental patterns. It offers compassionate love and forgiveness. You face the truth with loving awareness. Holy shit. You see, like, how spot on is that with what we were talking about this whole time? You see how magical spirit is? How intricate everything is connected? this is what you need to learn to do, group number 2. And I feel like you're not a beginner, okay? Like if you're here on my channel, you're not a beginner. Maybe you are, but I doubt it. So it's not that you're learning the beginner steps to this, but each layer has beginner steps. So this layer necessitates that you focus on manifesting emotional balance so that you can feel into those painful feelings and not shut down. So that you can hold space through loving awareness, like I was saying, awareness, understanding, empathy. Then you create new action. Actually, I created an acronym about this that I used with one of my clients that I worked with for a long time in mentorship. You know, I can't even remember what it was. I think I wrote it down. Hold on. Well, now I can't find it. But if I had to, off the top of my head, try to remember what this acronym was, it was something like S for stop and observe. A for awareness, so bring awareness to the pattern. U for understanding. N for new approach, and A for action. So sauna. Stop, observe, bring awareness, seek to understand, have a new approach, i.e. in this case, hold compassion, and then take new action. There's a lot of different layers to that, and that's really what I do in my mentorship is teach a lot of mostly emotional regulation, because if we have psychological imbalance or emotional dysregulation, it's very hard to develop psychic abilities. It's very hard because those are not on the same wavelength. You have to be safe in your body and in your mind and balanced to be able to access your intuitive abilities in a higher and more sustainable, balanced capacity that's going to give you real good information. Now, last thing I want to mention here for you, group number 2, is that whatever they're calling you to focus on here, like I said, it might have something to do with your career. So this is definitely something that you want to do the right way and that you want to be disciplined about. You want to be realistic and you want to be patient about this, because this is something that needs to be built over a long period of time, not a short period of time. Although, like I said, if you slow down, you will speed up, because you're going to free yourself and you'll have more room to move around, and you'll be internally stronger and better able to balance and maintain that relationship with yourself, because that's essentially what it is. The healthier your relationship with yourself is, the more balanced your emotions are going to be, the more clear and open your psychic abilities are going to be. All right, so focus right now. The manifestation that Spirit wants you to focus on is healing. They want you to focus on self-focused healing so that you can open up your capacity to free your mind, balance yourself out so you can receive these messages that are going to help to serve your overall life's destiny, purpose, career, and your growth in this lifetime as a soul. All right. So that is what I see for you, group number 2. I hope this reading helped in some way, that it provided some insight, clarity, guidance, support, whatever you need. I hope that it gave you something. Thank you so much for being here, supporting my work on the channel. And if you are wanting to go a little bit deeper, I do have memberships available. So there's pick a card readings, tutorials, things like that. There's going to be more tutorials coming out. I have to work on those behind the scenes a bit more to get those out to you guys. So keep an eye on those for content that you see, and then you can jump on to the membership if you see content you want to look at for that particular month. And if you want to go even deeper, like I said, I do have mentorship available, as well as intuitive tarot readings and psychic energy healing, as well as I'm a Reiki master and Akashic reader. So all that information is through my website, which is linked in the description box below. Just go to the services page. You'll see the options there to book with me. All right. Thanks again for being here. I love you guys. 222 on the time when I said that. And we'll see you in the next reading. Bye. All right. Hi, group number 3. Last but certainly not least, welcome to your reading. You guys chose the turtle, cute little turtle. I'm wondering if there's a connection to group number 1, as they had a turtle come out in their reading as well. But we'll find out when we get into your cards. So let's find out what Spirit wants you to focus on manifesting right now. We're going to start with the tarot, and then we'll go into your oracle cards. So you have the Hierophant. Okay. The 9 of Cups. Beautiful. King of Cups as well. and the World card. Okay. It feels like, okay, I'm getting something right now. I kind of want to get some more cards on the table to see if what I'm picking up on is aligned with the entire reading, but I'm feeling like there's some kind of a commitment, something that is going to last for your entire life. It could be a relationship. It could be a commitment. It could be a marriage specifically. Yeah, somebody who is your world. But let's get some more information here. Relocation, home, and house. Yeah, so okay, so definitely that can be involved in relationship, your sense of home, family, marriage. That's kind of what I'm getting here. Let's see. Inheritance, male, old man. Okay, yeah, because the world and the turtle here, they were reminding me of like these things that have existed for long periods of time. Old man, very old man. You know, he's been around for a long time. It's like your entire life. And your home is your stability. It's where you live. It's your entire world, basically. Interesting. Okay. Oh, yeah, you guys had 2 of these. I think I'll save these for the end. Let me put those right there. They're crystal cards, and we're going to look at those ones out of the book. But let's keep going with these cards. I knew it. I freaking knew it, you guys. I do not look at these cards. I pull them all face down, and I wait till we get to the readings. But I feel it. If I feel it, I feel it. It's like if I fits, I sits. If I feel it, I got to say it. And I was picking up on this is relationship oriented. Feels like a commitment, a marriage, a home, a family, a partnership that lasts for a lifetime. Somebody who is your entire world. Spiritual union. It's 2 of Cups. That is soulmate relationship connections. Okay. And we have very soon. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. Could be needing to decide what you want in terms of relationship, commitment, marriage, home, family, your life in general. What do you desire? What's going to make you happy? 9 of Cups, because that will come to you soon if you let it. Okay, finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. Ah, okay. Interesting. You know, Spirit did call me to these love oracle, the romance oracle cards. I don't normally use them in general readings. I only use them in love readings, but they told me to use them. So I said, okay. Spirit never steers me wrong. Okay. I'm going to try and reorganize the cards here so we've got more room for the rest of these cards. You guys have a couple more than the other piles, the other groups. So how we gonna do this? Okay, you have Virgo. Methods for the healing power, analyzing, resulting from perfectionism, the serving of others, details, and do what you must do. So these are actually meant to be read in sequence, but Spirit advised me to just use the singular cards to get sort of more general messages. Okay, so you have Virgo, and then you have Neptune. Inspire others, be prepared to sacrifice. Yielding is the only way. The idealization of confusion regarding and sacrifice. Okay, that's interesting that you have those 2. All right. Yeah, we'll flip these over and then we'll look at them after. You have adjoit. I don't even know how to say that. I've never seen this crystal before. I'm excited to find out what that's about. And then you have Auralite. Auralite. Okay. Sort of fits. Okay, so group number 3. What do I see? What do I see? Spirit wants you to focus on creating a stable home for yourself. They want you to feel like you have a home base, like you are stable in your life, whether it is a relationship, whether it's your sense of happiness, your job, your career. It's almost like they want you to focus on anything that's going to give you a sense of stability, something to anchor to, something that can really go the distance. You know, it's like they're playing the song in my head from Disney's Hercules, Go the Distance. And it feels like this is something that they want you to commit to with the Hierophant card there. They want you to commit to this. They want you to choose something to commit to that will bring you a sense of happiness and stability. So maybe that is a relationship, a spouse. Maybe that is a career that you love. Maybe that's creating the finances you need to buy a home, to leave a legacy, to have something for your children to inherit, or something to pass down to the world. So it's kind of like, what do you need to sacrifice to be able to have these things? What details do you need to settle? What T's do you need to cross? What I's do you need to dot to be able to do what you need to do to get these things? And they're being very clear about the fact that if you clearly decide what you want, it can come to you very, very quickly. Now, soon is a little bit of an interesting word. It's the least accurate timing word, and Spirit tends to use soon a lot because the spirit realm has no time. So to them, soon can be like 10 years from now, or it can be tomorrow, or it can be 2 minutes from now. It varies, at least in my experience working with Spirit. I kind of laugh. It's like an inside joke between me and Spirit. But I feel like if this is something you want, or maybe you don't even know what you want, and you have to kind of sit with that, and they want you to focus on getting to the nitty-gritty of what it is that you desire out of this life, physically speaking. Because, I mean, yes, we're talking a little bit about emotional stuff here, like what do you want emotionally, what's going to satisfy you, what's going to fulfill you. That's definitely a factor in this, but they're talking specifically here about your physical circumstances, like your relationship, your home, and your career. These are very physical, tangible things. They want you to look at those things, either that you have now, or if you don't have them, what you actually want. What does that look like? Is it going to be in a very traditional way, like you get married in a church and you have a husband or a wife for life, and you live in a particular home in a nice community, and you have this career that you work at for your life? Or do you want something more abstract, more off the beaten path? Do you want to live out in the forest? Do you want to live alone? Do you want to have a partner? Do you want to have a best friend that you live with, like a companion? Do you want to have a career that is traditional, or do you want to have a career that is very original and maybe entrepreneurial? It's, these are the questions Spirit wants you to focus on, because the clearer you can get on these things, the easier it's going to be to manifest. And the less clarity you have on these things, the harder it's going to be to take action towards the things that you want. So they want you to consider. That's what Spirit's really recommending to you here, Group 3. They want you to consider these things, to weigh your options, really. That's what I'm seeing, weighing your options. I think the first place to start is where needs lie. So what is it that you need? And you guys know, if you're not new to the channel, I talk a lot about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I will put it up here on the screen. Base level is like food, shelter, safety, and then up tier from there, we can start to focus on more interpersonal needs, emotional needs. Up from there, it goes into psychological needs, and then spiritual needs and things like that, or the needs of the whole. So there's different levels to needs, and if your base level needs aren't met, it's really hard to meet the top tier level needs. So Spirit wants you to focus on manifesting clarity around what it is that you need. And I think the best place to start first is how you feel and what you physically have that creates security in your life, like your money and your career. Your money and your home. And if you need connection, if you don't have a relationship that helps you feel stable, that would be a valid need as well. Because they want to talk about love here in your reading, Group number 3. If you didn't come here for a love reading, sorry, but that's what Spirit wants to talk about today. And Spirit wants to talk about what Spirit wants to talk about. Don't shoot the messenger. Spirit wants you to focus on manifesting a spiritual union. Firstly, with yourself, by understanding what it is that you want and need, so you can actually go out there and get it and have that manifest in your life. But secondly, to have a union with someone who will feel like home. That's what they're saying. Somebody that you want to commit to, somebody that you want to live with, somebody that you want to spend your life growing old with. Somebody that you want to dive into the details of. You want to learn their ins and outs, their nitty-gritty bits, their idiosyncrasies. And if you're already coupled up and you've got your home and if you've got your career and you've got your finances, then they want you to ask yourself where you can create more happiness in those areas. What do you need to do? What do you need to change? What do you need to adapt? What's going to work better for you or what's not working? Yeah, what do you need to change in that circumstance or in those environments? What are you committed to that maybe isn't working anymore? Not necessarily the relationship, but although that if that applies, then take it if it resonates. But I'm more seeing it as like traditions or old ways of doing things that maybe don't serve you or don't serve the relationship or don't serve your business or don't serve your home. Like maybe you just need to reposition things. Maybe you need to do some feng shui. Maybe you need to, hire somebody to answer your emails, or maybe, I don't know. It could be anything, but it's like these old ways of doing things that maybe you've kind of just gotten used to and they've become kind of like the beaten path that you just walk down, like you get into these ruts. And Spirit wants you to focus on what actually brings you a sense of joy, what actually brings you a sense of fulfillment, what gives you a sense of purpose and enjoyment, really. And they want you to look at this with a little bit of an analytical eye. That's why Virgo's here. They want you to look at this analytically and assess the situation accurately, whether to make a decision that's aligned with you so you can start taking action in that direction and the Spirit can come in and the universe can support you in that goal, or to amend some of these things in your life that maybe have gotten a little bit stagnant. Okay, they said go ahead with reading the book here on these two crystals. So 24 is Auralite. The Soul Connector. Wow, Auralite 23 has a sedative effect on the mind, stilling it so that profound healing and conscious connection with your soul, the universal mind, and higher dimensions occurs. Okay. So this is definitely about accelerated growth, spiritual growth. And 30 is Adjoite. I still don't know how to say that. If you guys know how to pronounce it, can you let me know? Spell it phonetically for me. Compassionate being. Adjoite brings about a profound spiritual revelation. Drawing out karmic wounds, this crystal reframes cellular memory and past contracts. Ooh, interesting. Okay. I'll hold it up so if you guys want to pause and read the rest of it, you can do so. But yeah, I'm seeing these are past contracts because Auralite was talking about the soul connector. Yeah. And this is talking about soul contracts. So I feel like there could be something here to do with, soul contracts, soulmate contracts. Group number 3. I feel like there's something here that needs to be transmuted. That's what I'm getting. That's what's just kind of channeling through. There's something here that needs to be transmuted. Something that's not working needs to be transmuted into something that will work. An old soul contract needs to be transmuted into something that's going to be rejuvenated or reinvigorated. An old concept or mindset around what you want. Maybe it's an expectation or a traditional concept that you kind of adhered to because it was what you learned or what you saw or what you were taught was normal. And it's like something here needs to be changed. It needs to be adapted to fit you better because the way that it is right now it doesn't really serve you. There's something about it that it just doesn't serve you. And there may be a sacrifice that you need to make to change these things, to live a different way. That's what Spirit just said, live a different way. Maybe you've been living the very traditional 9-to-5 type of life, and Spirit is like, that's not really serving you at soul level. That's not really conducive to your happiness or your growth or to this relationship or to this life that you want to build or want to have, that you intended to have when you incarnated here. So Spirit wants you to focus on manifesting a life that truly, truly fulfills you from now until the moment that you cross over back into the spirit realm. What gives your life meaning? Who gives your life meaning? Answer those questions and follow those paths, because that is what Spirit wants you to manifest. And I think that to do that, you're going to have to challenge some mindsets that you've built around what you think you should do, or what other people expect you to do or think you should do. You don't have to run away and live out in the wild unknown of the forest, but there's something here that needs to change, and it may be in a slightly more abstract way than you expected. It might be a little more unconventional. And if you're confused about what this is and you don't know what this is, feel into it. That's what they really want you to do. They want you to feel into what brings you a sense of contentment. In this case, the energy that they want you to be in is a feeling of fulfillment. And contentment and fulfillment are kind of like brothers. They sit next to each other on the throne. I don't know why that's the image they showed me. It was like two guys sitting next to each other on these big thrones. So contentment and fulfillment, let those be your guides. If something does not feel like contentment or fulfillment, what do you need to change? If something maybe unexpected feels like it could bring you contentment or fulfillment, explore that. And maybe you might need to explore that with a little bit of trial and error. You might need to explore that through actually trying it out, but you won't know until you try, so it's worth a shot, right? But they want you to pay attention to the details, group number 3. So take a look at the minutia of your life. Look at everything with a magnifying glass. Go through everything with a fine-tooth comb. And again, keep the eye and the comparison on what feels fulfilling and what brings contentment. That is what Spirit wants you to focus on manifesting right now. Anything that is going to provide fulfillment and contentment, specifically when it relates to, like I said, those material things in your life, like your home, your money, your career, and your spouse, your relationships. But ultimately, all of those things, what they want you to focus on is creating stability in those areas so that you can feel a sense of internal fulfillment and contentment. Sometimes we have to go from the inside out. In this case, for you, it's more the outside in. Because I feel like you've got a good understanding of your internal world, and now they want you to focus on applying that externally. Okay? Yeah. All right. So that is what I see for you, group number 3. Oh, sorry. Hold on one sec. Before you go, they want me to say something about the turtle here. What is that? Yeah, okay. Well, that's kind of what I was saying before, Spirit. Was that really not? Yeah, okay. They said they want me to say it anyway. The lifelong journey. That's the phrase they gave me. That's what they wanted me to say. The lifelong journey. All right. Yeah, I guess that's it. So, okay. Thank you, Spirit. And thank you to you guys who are watching. I hope that this helped. I hope that it gave you a little bit of guidance, direction, insight, clarity. Maybe you got some synchronicities from this reading, some confirmation, something like that. Let me know how it resonates in the comments below if you feel called to do so. And thank you so much again for being here. If you guys want to dive deeper, we do have memberships on the channel where there's a whole bunch of different pick a card readings that you guys can choose from. And if you want even deeper guidance or more direct personal guidance, I do offer services which you can find through my website, which is linked in the description box below. below. Go to the services page and you will see what I offer there, and you can book with me online there as well. Thanks again, guys. I love you, and we will see you in the next reading. Bye.